Rivian's having problems. Ford may have some good news in Cybertruck. Well, we've got a lot to discuss, so that is why I'm joined by Mark. We've got a bunch of news we need to cover, and boy, do we need to cover it quick. I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. Mark, it's been a busy week. We had the earnings call on Wednesday, and due to linear time, I don't know what it was, because this is not a post-Wednesday recording. Did you know that?
We're time traveling. Absolutely.
We are. For those who don't believe I'm a time traveler, if you've ever met me before and you meet me again, please observe that I have existed in two different points in time. And that is one of my special powers, is my ability to travel forward in time very slowly.
And appear in the Arctic when you've never been there.
If I'd actually been in the Arctic, maybe I'd have got a ticket, because they all did. So we need to, have a discussion here, because there's a whole lot going on. I don't know if you've heard, but the Ford Mustang redesign is out. Have you heard?
I have. Yeah, they've made some nice improvements, and they've lowered the price.
Well, first of all, let's talk about the look. I think that's a good refinement.
Yeah, it's growing on me. It's a slight modification, but it doesn't really hurt it. I don't think it's really stood out either, but I kind of like the old look.
Okay. Well, I think it's, you have to make changes over time or people will forget. And
Yep.
Now this black line at the bottom, this bit of trim here, do you know why they do that?
Around the wheel wells or at the base?
On the side of the doors.
Okay. I think that is, well, for aesthetics first, but secondly, I believe it's also to help with the paint chips that could happen if the paint ran right to the rockers.
So if the real damage comes to the front of the rear quarter panel, like the fender kind of area there, the protrusion by the wheels. So on Tesla Model Y, they put protective film here, because otherwise it would just chip like crazy. But you're right, this black line on the doors is aesthetic. It makes the car seem shorter. It's how you prevent the side of it from looking like a theater screen.
Ah, okay.
And also the big black fender wells is to make it so you don't notice that the wheels look too small. They're not too small, but if you just had those in yellow, the wheels would look cartoonishly small. So it's all about drawing the eyes. Good job, Ford. I think you did good. And of course, it ships standard with 500 spicy wings. So that's
pre-cooked.
Yes, pre-cooked. Now, mind you, you want to get them while they're fresh. So don't let these cars sit around, because, I mean, they get real sour real quick. But then you've got free flies, which is a different benefit. Yeah, the frunk might be a slightly larger than before. Still no native NACS port. Deeply disappointing that it will come with CCS.
We're still waiting for that first native NACS port from a manufacturer. Who will it be?
Who indeed? I was sure this would have been it. That would have been my guess. Have you heard the news about Rivian and Bosch?
Yes.
They're taking each other to court.
Yeah.
So we heard Rivian had a supply chain crunch. What happened?
I'm not sure how this Bosch thing came about. I guess it's a breach of contract, because they were connected to Bosch in some way. But to be frank, I don't remember the connection to Bosch all that well.
So Bosch is one of the world's largest auto parts suppliers. And if you remember, they were deeply ingrained in the Dieselgate scandal, because they don't just make parts, they engineer, and they will engineer as many complete systems as you'd like them to. In fact, they'd prefer to, because then you are dependent on them.
Yeah.
So Bosch doesn't just make spark plugs. That's probably where you and I remember it from. But they make all kinds of stuff. Bosch entered into agreements with many, many EV startups and overpromised all of them, knowing that the majority is going to go out of business. Well, they made some incorrect guesses, and the parts that Rivian was short were the motors.
Oh,
So I don't think you can ship without a motor and just say, we'll add it later over the air.
a little bit different. Yes.
Rivian says that Bosch failed to provide enough motors and that the ones it did provide were poor quality, leading to delays and losses. Bosch intentionally underinvested in the development of its motors while entering into contracts with several upstart EVs. Not a great look. Good news, though. Bosch's pockets are incredibly deep, and if malfeasance is uncovered, this will be good news for Rivian. At the very least, it seems like they are past it. Are you excited about the R2 and 3 should they make it to production?
I can't wait to see those on the road. It's going to be, again, it's another great moment for Rivian to be able to push into another market at a little bit of a lower price and open up new people to those vehicles because financially they can afford them.
Everywhere I've been where I've seen that vehicle, they draw a crowd. That's hard to do. At an auto show, it's hard to draw a crowd, but people are excited about them. So I hope the 2 and 3 do make it out. Well, we've got some great news on the Cybertruck front. Do you know more range is coming? Sort of. Cybertruck's range extender just became an even worse deal. That's not what I wanted to read. It will add less range than promised for the dual motor and be later than expected. We thought it was going to be 475 mile, 470. It's going to be 445, which is, for those of you scoring along at home, a lower number.
Yeah, that's not great news for people that are depending on this for towing, because of course a lot of people that want this range extender are looking to extend the towing range of the Cybertruck, and their savior was going to be this extra battery pack. So if Tesla starts slashing the mileage on it, and on top of it delays it even further, that's going to disappoint a number of people.
It's going to really, yeah. And that 445, once you start towing, cut it in half. So 220, even if you get to 250, that's not super exciting. Whereas you've got the Silverado, which has already got a lot of range. It's a dumb, heavy beast, but it works. It does the thing. Now, Mark, you and I were talking before the show started about this. Tesla starts sending Cybertruck non-Foundation series order invites.
Yes.
I'm not surprised. Are you?
No, this was coming. We knew that Tesla was going to move out of the Foundation series. And in fact, their website was updated recently that you can no longer order a Foundation series in the United States. You still can in Canada for the next little while, but it's coming to an end. And in the US, it stopped. And what you and I were discussing was not that this non-Foundation series is now available to those in the US, but the amount of invites that have been sent out.
Screenshots that were posted online indicate deliveries are expected to start in October to November. That is now. Interestingly enough, the range of the standard is at, anyway. But what you and I have heard from a number of people is that it's not, they went back to the start of the line. They started inviting people, and it seems like the take rate might be lower than we expected because people who've only been waiting a short time, months, have been invited to configure. And that is very curious.
Yeah, there's only a couple of reasons that this, actually, there's really only one reason that makes sense as to why this is happening, with not just one, but multiple people across the internet are indicating that they've only put in a reservation a few months ago and they've already received their letter to configure. It seems that the take rate on the non-Foundation series truck is very low. In order for this many people to have skipped through the line and gotten their invite when they just ordered it a few months ago.
It is puzzling. Now, I can posit some theories. We know that there are people who ordered multiple trucks who would only take delivery of one, or who thought they could sell their reservations or flip the trucks, or who were planning to enter them into a robotaxi network that does not yet exist. And there are also a lot of buyers internationally who would absolutely buy one today at any price, but it is not yet available for sale in those markets.
Right. And one other thing, the deposit was a refundable $100. So many people kind of ordered this as a lark because you didn't have to put up much money and it was guaranteed you could get it back even if you wanted to get out of the deal when the truck came available.
True. And for that matter, you've got, I haven't seen a lot of cancellations, but all of that is true. And then you've got people who thought when it hits 80, I'll get the $7,500 tax credit. And that is not available. Now, I do know that in 2023, it was available. Cybertruck was listed in 2023. It just didn't sell for the price that it would need to in order to qualify. I think, this is my speculation, that in 2024, they just didn't apply for it because they didn't think they'd be selling it at that price this year. So maybe it will qualify next year. Bo from the Bo Schneider from Tesla, from the service center, gave a presentation in Oregon for us recently where he said the Cybertruck may never qualify because he's of the belief, and this isn't a Tesla official statement, this is his speculation, he is of the belief that the mineral content in the batteries is too low, so that even though the batteries are made in Texas, that the mineral content, crucial minerals, need to be at something like 40% already from U.S. or free trade countries. Now, there's 20 free trade countries. That'd be Canada and Mexico and Australia and others, but it wouldn't be, China. So Chinese lithium wouldn't count, but I really think that it's just a matter of paperwork. So what we need on this is clarity. If that 7,500 isn't coming, we need to be told as much so that people can make the decision. Because I think a lot of people are holding off, waiting for that. When I saw this headline, all I could think, I just literally said, oh, fudge balls. Because I was hungry and it looked good. We didn't have a chance to make any yet, but it was something we might still do. We've got time, it's the holidays are coming.
Holidays are coming. Yep.
So, you have to wonder, Mark, how long have I been sitting on that open tab?
You've been waiting a long time, Brian. You've been waiting a long time. Yeah.
Probably 4 or 5 days. Because sometimes when a joke is that good, you have to let it ferment, You shall drink no wine before it's time.
The other thing, Brian, is that this may cause a ripple in orders because the non-clarity that's out there now, you've got a lot of people that are delaying their decision. So if all these people that are now being asked to order their non-foundation vehicle are all wondering, is the $7,500 in play? Will it ever be in play? Well, I'm going to sit out and just wait until we get clarity on the issue. And that, of course, hurts the orders in a way as well, because it's going to delay many people. And those people are talking to other people. They're on social media. They're making their views known. It's happening right now. And Tesla hasn't said anything to it. So we just get more and more people that just kind of wait on the sidelines to see what's going to happen.
Tesla likes to say that they don't have a communications department. They do. They're just not doing the job that they would need to do in order to make this sort of situation not happen. Well, there's no PR. My friends, there is absolutely PR. Well, they don't buy ads. Yes, they do. Just not very many. It's not in substantial numbers. Just need clarification. I'd be happy to get the word out once I know the word, which I'm pretty sure is bird. If anyone can confirm in the comments, is bird the word? Have you heard? So everybody else, leave a comment. What did we get right? What did we get wrong? What did we miss? What did we misunderstand? Head over to the Tesla Live Show. See what Mark, Casey, and Pat are up to. They're probably talking about the news again. fun story I will tell after the sign off, because it's only for people who actually enjoy the show. But everybody else, like, subscribe, stay tuned to Juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots when you stick around for the joke. I was getting a tour when we were doing travel writing during my 20 years as a freelance writer, which meant I also had a bunch of odd jobs. I was doing some travel writing, and we were in a little town called Havre, Montana, and the Visitors Bureau connected me with a gentleman from the Historic Society who said, come to my house, pick me up, and I will drive you around, and we'll drive around town, and I'll give you the tour, the historic tour. So we would drive around, and the kids are in the backseat. They're little. They're like 5 to 7 at the time. They're just little, and they are not feeling the vibe. So at one point we pull up, we stop, and my son goes, don't stop. Please don't stop the car. I said, why? He goes, because that man will start talking again. Rude. So rude. Who raised you? Was it me, or did I leave it to the wolves again? You guys, thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you on the next one.